Hello, Facebook world. My name is Ryan Speedo Green.
I'm Susanna Phillips, and we are here on the balcony of the Metropolitan Opera in this swanky new lounge area that they've put out for the tours, which is exciting.
And we are both in the cast of the Metropolitan Opera's production of La Boheme, playing here now at the Metropolitan Opera. We just had a performance yesterday that went really, really well.
We did.
And I play the character of Colline.
And I play Musetta, and I think we'll see our costumes later, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and if you want to come see us, make sure to go to metropolitanopera.org and check out the later performances of La Boheme, because we'll see you out there in the audience.
You were great last night.
No, you were awesome.
It was really beautiful. Your coat aria is so moving and it's beautiful. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, guys, let's take a tour of the lobby, because now, as of last week, they've opened up the lobby for tours from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., I think, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And you get to check out all the lobby area and Founders Hall, which has great exhibitions. You can come out on the balcony.
And hang out like us.
Yeah, so let's go check it out.
Yeah.
Ryan's doing the smart thing with it. I have my mic just fell.
Oh no.
Ryan's doing the smart thing carrying water, and I'm being the proper Southern girl carrying a Diet Coke.
And you know, we're now celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Metropolitan Opera at Lincoln Center. So this is kind of also a big deal.
That's right.
And as you said before, you can come here now to start this week. You can get tours from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So don't forget that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, tell me about these paintings we're about to.
Oh yeah. So if you look up here, you can see these from outside on the plaza here. But if you look up here on the left and the right, you see these white curtains. Currently, they're covering up these beautiful Chagall paintings. There's one that is yellow and one that is red. And actually, when I was growing up, my father gave me a scarf of the red one, and I wore it for all my college auditions. And so my audition at Juilliard, I was wearing my little red Chagall scarf with my black pantsuit, and you know.
So it was super good luck, because look at you now.
I guess so.
Yeah, thanks,
But
Dad.
they cover them up. They cover them up to protect them because they're old and they're fine art. They're really beautiful. But at night they uncover them, so you can see them from the plaza, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
Colors.
So, also up here on the Grand Tier is one of the best places to take selfies. So
oh, yeah.
We actually have not done that yet. So let's take a selfie.
All right. You should do it because you have longer arms.
I do have longer arms.
That'll be better. Oh, wait.
Let me do.
Can
Switch
you turn it around?
Yeah, I can.
There we go. Ah. Awesome. We should post that.
We should. And so, also up here, you can see there are TV screens. You can see what's going on stage in case you maybe missed your entrance to come and see the show. So now we're going to walk down the stairs, okay?
One of the things you may remember from the other buildings around Lincoln Center is that the outside is all travertine tile, and inside on the ceiling you can see gold leaf. Each one is individually put on, so it's a painstaking process. Inside the actual opera house, there is all wood, and it's all from the same redwood tree from Bavaria, or at least that's the legend.
Wow.
And I think these stairs are pretty special. They're very sound.
Yeah, actually, I think the stairs were built by boat builders, so that
really?
means that they're incredibly sturdy and no one ever falls. So now we're going to walk down the stairs.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you're a big fan of the chandeliers, aren't you?
I love the chandeliers. They're made of Swarovski crystals. And when I was a little girl, my parents would take once a year, we'd take a trip to the Met, and I got to see a couple of shows. And of course, like all 8, 9-year-olds, I kind of slept through some of it. But I always remember coming in and seeing the chandeliers because they're sparkly and they reflect the light so beautifully. But the ones that are inside the theater, they begin to rise right when the curtain's going down. So the opera is going to start right when the chandeliers begin to rise to the top of the ceiling.
And the chandeliers, I think, if I'm correct, were given to us by the Austrian government in 1966 for our help reconstructing Austria after World War II. So, they're given to us as gifts. And I think they were nicknamed the Sputniks because during the time, I guess after the Russian spacecraft at the time. You know, I remember my first time coming into the Met. I coming from Virginia with my class, and I walked in and I felt like I was in like almost a Disney World of opera. It was so majestic, so beautiful. And I remember I was wearing a suit. It's probably the first time I wore a suit to see a show.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful, and it changed my life, because after that first opera, all I wanted to do was be an opera singer. So this place has such a history and ambiance that it creates sometimes people's dreams.
Right now in Founders Hall, which is kind of where we're headed, is a representation of that history of opera. You have it's the 50th anniversary of the opera here, and they have this incredible exhibition right now that's been put on by Peter Clark, who's the head of archives. He's a really great guy. He kind of curated a series of drawings and paintings of the history of the Met from 1966 to 1967, that season. And so you can see drawings of the different operas. You can see drawings of what options were for the Metropolitan Opera House.
Yes, apparently there's this photo of like these horses, like and sort of homage to Wagner.
Yeah.
And there's even one that sort of looks like a spaceship.
Yeah. Oh, you know, while we're here, I want to point out one thing that's in the lobby that you can see on your tour. Right around the corner here, there are plasma TV screens where you can see the rehearsals that are actually going on in the Met right now.
And they have them upstairs as well.
Yes. So this is the entrance to the house which you would come into when you're coming to the opera. So you would see this incredible view. The will call is over there to get your tickets, and that's where the plasma screen TV is, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I'm on the way to the Founders Hall. You know, you can also see pictures of some of the great performances.
Like who would you see?
Like,
who would you see down there?
You would see maybe Leontine Price or Birgit Nilsson or Samuel Ramey. Even now, some of the current stars, Anna Trepko and Susanna Phillips. So it's a place that you can see that it gets updated every year to see all of the past and present stars at the Metropolitan Opera.
Yes. You can see up here in the lobby some of the costumes that are worn by different people from other productions that are not currently done right now.
And you can also, it's one of my favorite places too, when I'm actually as an audience member, is to grab a drink during intermission.
Oh yeah.
The most important part during a really long show is to have that pick-me-up drink.
That cup of coffee.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're walking down now to the Founders Hall area, and we're going to take
also
you.
That wall of stars.
Yeah, we're going to try and pick out some of our favorite stars.
So this is the wall of stars, and they update it just about every year. And it's kind of the headshots or production photos of some of the singers that are at the Metropolitan Opera. So you can see it wraps around this whole wall.
Oh, I see here. We are going to find a star.
Let's see. Who are some of these people? Oh, there's Sam Raimi, right there. Renee Papa, who's currently in the Tristan and Isolde. He's amazing. Who else do we see here?
We see.
There's Eileen Perez, who's our Mimi.
Yes, our Mimi in Bohème.
Yes, right there.
We have. This is our Mimi, as stunning as ever, and let's see if we can find another star. And look, we have another star.
Oh.
Wow, she's. I feel like she's much taller in person.
Yeah.
And in here we have the story of the Met, the old Met to the new Met, and a copy of the Chagall painting you were talking about earlier.
That's right.
Yes. And so this is a reconstruction, a smaller version of it. You can see here.
And this is a video of kind of the opening night of the Metropolitan Opera.
In 1966, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Indeed.
Lady Bird Johnson came to that opera. And they have pictures of her all in there in her beautiful gown.
Was Leontine in that opening?
She was. It was Antony and Cleopatra.
Yes.
Which was actually kind of a flop. Oh, but the singing was great and the costumes were beautiful.
And Leontine is always a star.
Amazing.
And you know, even today, looking at some of these pictures, you know, I see people who are not only involved in singing but involved with stuff around the Met. We have Donald Palumbo here, who's been a part of the Met for a very long time. And we have We have Leontine Price here and Aida. We just mentioned her before. And what else? Let me see. Who else can I pluck out of here? Man, there's so much.
There is a lot. You know, a lot of these people you can see in person here at the Opera House. Some of them you can see on the HD transmission that happens. And this year, they're doing their 100th HD transmission, which will be the Tristan und Isolde, which opened the season and which I saw. And I have to say, it was amazing. I'm not going to lie, it was the first time I've ever actually stayed awake through the entire opera myself. The production is really riveting, and the singing is incredible. Stuart Skelton sounds amazing.
You know, you think about how many people, the Met seats close to 4,000 people, if not a little bit more, and the house is one of the biggest houses in the world, and to sing something like that with the orchestration in this house, you have to be a powerhouse kind of singer.
That's true.
And it's always amazing to me, not only as a singer but as an audience member, coming here and hearing the voices and the power that comes out of the house in those voices.
You know, we're wearing microphones now for the broadcast, but what some of you may not know is that we never use microphones in the Opera House. We never ever have them on the stage unless there's a specific HD broadcast where we need them to kind of for the audio for transmission, but you never use it during a live performance unless a composer specifically suggests it. So all of that singing is happening totally naturally. There's no amplification help at all.
Yeah, and when they talk about the construction of the new Met, they took that in mind. And there's a lot of different woods and angles and things like geometrical, all these things that go involved with creating the opportunistic acoustics. So the singers won't need audio or amplification, because you need that in a house. Because if we just walked outside and started singing opera in open Lincoln Square, it wouldn't work. Probably many people wouldn't hear us.
The Met is the side, from the edge of the stage into the back of the house is the length of a city block. So if you had us out there singing on the street in New York City, you would never hear us. But you're right, because of the acoustics and the wood and the curves and the way that they handle it, that's how you can hear it.
Yeah, so now we're heading up to the parterre level. This is where people go into the boxes to see the show, and this is not usually we're giving you a little sneak peek, a little treat here, because usually people are not allowed to go in and watch these.
Usually it's just the creative team,
Yeah.
the director, the set designer, coaches, pianists, singers, covers who are there, understudies who are there, and only people involved with the actual show can go.
And me and Susanna, we're in Bohème right now, which is one of 26 productions this season. The Met does about 24 to 26 a season with 225 performances, and while right now there are about 4 different operas being performed on stage, there's still almost several being rehearsed at the same time.
What's rehearsing right now is an opera called William Tell. You'll recognize the overture immediately. It's the
Yes, we heard from Looney Tunes and I think it's also
the Lone
Ranger. Yes.
Yes.
A little before my time, but still a great show.
But it's actually one of Rossini's more serious operas. He wrote the Barber of Seville, which is really funny, which is the Figaro, 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 Figaro. But which is a comedy. But this is a drama. It's an old Swiss tale, and it's a substantial opera. The whole evening is about 5 hours long. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
And I think it was his last opera, and I got the lowdown last night from Ray, who's the stage manager, but he's also on La Bohème. So we were sitting backstage, and he was telling me about the show. And he was saying that it's one of his, it was his last opera, but it really foreshadowed Wagner, which if you think about Rossini, who has very clean, very funny, very kind of tonal sound, to go straight into this Wagner, sound with everybody having their theme music and the different kind of depth of music. It's kind of an incredible journey for this composer.
Well, I'm excited as well for, the Met's new productions that are also the new operas. The Met is not only known for doing operas that are written in the 17th, 18th century, but they also do modern stuff. which, for instance, one of my favorite new operas here is Satyagraha. Like,
Oh,
I remember
yes.
when just hearing about this opera, I had no idea what it would be about. And the moment I went to the first dress rehearsal, I saw it 5 times. So this
Yeah.
is, I get introduced not only to the beautiful classics, but also the next upcoming classics.
Well, I'm actually about to be in L'amour de Loin, which is by Kaya Saariaho, who is a Finnish composer. And it's the first opera the Met has produced by a woman since 1930. And it's absolutely beautiful. The music is kind of like if Debussy and Messiaen had a baby, it would be this score. It's full of color, it's full of passion, very deep passion.
Would that be a Met Live HD?
It will be in December.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
so make sure you guys also watch Susanna for that, for Met Live in HD.
Well, I tell you what, we've kind of pulled some strings, and we have figured out a way to sneak y'all into this rehearsal.
Yes.
So come on in, check it out. This is William Tell by Rossini. Here we go.
so sorry. Come on, come on, come on, go, go, go. Oh, shit.
This was part of the rehearsal of William Tell by Giacomo Rossini. As you can see, everybody's on break. We have very strict rules about how many breaks you have during rehearsals and things. But today, you got to see Jerry Finley, you got to see Brian Email, and you got to see Jennifer Rowley, who stepped in for Marina Rebecca, right?
Yeah. And Jennifer Rowley, actually, I just got done doing a production of Il Trovatore in France with her, and she was singing the lead role, and she was blowing it away. So I'm really happy to see her stepping up and doing this role today.
These are all ridiculous singers.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Email stepped in last minute to sing the tenor lead in Les Troyens here at the Met. And it's one of the most difficult roles for a tenor that there is. It's very high, it's very long.
It's also one of the longest operas.
It's one of the longest operas. And he stepped in with Susan Graham for an HD performance, and he nailed it.
Yeah, and it almost created, he already had a buzz about him, but stepping in and performing the way he performed for millions of people across the world really set him on a new level of superstardom. It was amazing to see. And I was a young artist at the time, and he's one of the people, like, when you hear him talk, you know that he's going to have some high notes for days.
That's amazing. He sang Rodolfo in La Boheme with me a couple seasons ago. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and
really
also
nice
and then also Gerald Finley, who for me is one of the greatest performers, baritones out there. And I saw him in Don Giovanni singing with Bryn Terfel, and it was awesome.
He also sang an incredible Pélias et Mélisande here. He was incredible, and he also sang the bass baritone part in L'amour de Loin in a production not here at the Met, but in another place. And he is such an incredible singer, beautiful art song singer.
So have you sung Rossini before?
I have sung a little bit, only the arias, but I've never done an opera. Rossini opera.
Yeah, I'm just now I'm doing a lot of Basilios these days, and I tell you, like, working on Rossini, it's like his comedy is what he's known for. But for instance, when Semiramide, which is another one of my favorite Rossini operas, and it's not done often, and so I really love his serious stuff. He has a knack for it, even though a lot of people don't know that.
I'm taller than you right now.
Right now, it doesn't happen very often. I'm a little bit intimidated. I don't want to say anything, but you should come down a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. Well, so now that they're on break, we're going to go take you back out into the lobby, which is, and this is a kind of a private area. Currently, we're on the parterre level, and these are all boxes, which is where sometimes patrons will come and sit there. But in the olden days, these were the very kind of expensive seats where people would spy each other across the opera, and they would see who was sitting in whose box and what that meant socially. And it was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I haven't had many experiences in sitting in box seats, but the Met's one of the few places like you can go to the upper sections of it and still get different levels of sound. And I think the way the acoustics are, like when you're sitting in orchestra or when you're sitting on Grand Tier or any of the other places in the Met, you're getting a different experience. And that's why you should always like try different seats. Don't just stay in one type of seat because you'll get a different experience. Also seeing the set because it's such a big stage that if you're sitting up close, you're on the singer's face, but you maybe won't get the full picture of what's going on. In an opera like La Boheme, for instance, if you come,
that one.
Yeah, exactly. If you come check out La Boheme with me and Susanna, you'll see what I mean. In the second act, especially of La Boheme, is one of the coolest moments in opera.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, and I promise you, it'll be something you'll love to see.
When I was in college, I went to college across the way at Juilliard. And when I was in college, my friend and I got season tickets to the Met, but we got the family circle season tickets. We got the cheapest seats you can get, but we came and saw everything. And we would sit in the upper level, and that's where the sound is the best. It's incredible up there. It just all mixes perfectly. You can see everything. It's just an incredible place. So look at this beautiful costume. This was Anna Moffo as Violetta in La Traviata.
Which you can see more about in the Founders Hall when you take the tour, which is open, again, don't forget, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here at the Metropolitan Opera. Right. Now you can go see and learn about Anna Moffo and this dress in La Traviata when it debuted.
She was an amazing singer. I have a recording of her singing the Rachmaninoff vocalese, which is so enchanting. She had such a raw, just natural, dramatic sound. It was beautiful.
You know, I've never seen any of her productions, but I think one of my favorite Traviatas is with Anna Trepko. That one of the best that I've seen.
I've heard of her.
Yeah, she sings a little bit, I think.
Yes.
A little bit.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. And
we have sorry to interrupt. We have an audience question.
Oh,
we have an audience
we have an
question.
audience question.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Vera, what are your dream roles?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You start.
Well, I'm 30 years old, so I'm bass baritone. So for my voice type, I'm incredibly young, especially as a dramatic bass baritone. So even in 5 years, when I'm 35, I'll still be young for my voice type. So for me, the roles that I'm singing now are perfect for me. And when I'm like 40, and I'll probably be singing a lot different stuff than I'm singing now. I really love Verdi. So I'm in love with things like Ferrando and Sparafocile and the King and Aida. And the King and Aida. I love these roles. And for Rossini, Basilio, maybe Oreo and Semiramide, and I'm delving into more German rep now. A lot of Strauss, smaller roles, but I'm loving.
You have such a voice that works for so many different kinds of repertoire. You're not just like a one-trick pony.
One-trick pony, yeah. I mean,
you have such a flexible sound that can be applied in so many different kinds of repertoire, and that gives you a tremendous flexibility in what you could try and what you could do.
Yeah, and I think as a bass baritone, the amount of rep that I sing, there's also supporting roles in operas that are low voice parts, the bass and the bass baritone. So there's a lot of chances for me to try different things. That's just as different styles. Well, for Mozart,
Would you do Mozart?
Yeah,
Is that your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm singing Osmin in a couple months at Houston Grand, and also I'm singing Commendatore at the Wiener Staatsoper in Vienna. So I'm delving into Mozart. I think it's for me like I'm gearing more towards the heavier dramatic stuff, but for me Mozart is like food for the soul, and it really every time I get back to Mozart, I'm recalibrating my voice and making sure everything's in line. So it's good for that. So when I want to talk about you, what are your dream roles? You're the hot stuff right now.
I have a lot of dream roles. One of them they're doing a new production this year of Rosenkavalier that Renee Fleming is singing, and she owns that part. She's incredible in that part, and I am going to go and crash every rehearsal that I can because it is such an amazing piece, and the Robert Carson production is going to be incredible. So that's one of my dream parts.
Yeah.
So in order just to like watch and learn a little bit would be awesome.
What is your favorite role you've done here thus far?
Oh, my favorite
And you've
role
done
that
a
I've
lot.
done here. Well, I would, in all honesty, one of my favorite parts to sing is Musetta because it's so fun. It is just, you're like a high school cheerleader bouncing around the stage, full of life, but Puccini wrote her in such a beautiful way that she's so well-rounded. You know so much about her. You see her depth, you see her heart, you see how she loves fiercely and truly, you see how vibrant and full of life she is. And so whenever I go to sing her, sing that part, I feel happy. And so I think that's one of my favorite parts. But I will also say my second favorite part was Fiordalici in Così with Maestro Levine when he came
working
back.
with him.
Oh,
Working with him.
Amazing.
I really, looking back at him, third act is obviously Colline's best act.
Yeah.
I'm not on stage during third act. And I'm hearing the quartet with you and Aileen and Dimitri and David is amazing, and it's just it's one of my favorite parts of the opera, and which doesn't happen because usually I don't like parts that I'm not in, but I love that. That's one of my favorite parts of Bohème. So congratulations on that, and you should come see us in La Bohème and look on the metropolitanopera.org.
We only have 2 performances
I know
together next
we do.
week, Monday and Friday, right?
Yeah. So it's a great cast. And so when we talk about dream roles, did your roles, you talk about how I'm singing different genres and different types, but for you, have you always been singing a certain style, or how did you evolve into it?
I've tried a lot of different things. I'm very interested in new music, and so this L'amour de loin that I'm preparing now is really exciting to me. It's kind of my jam. I'm very excited about it. But I also really love Baroque music. I love Mozart. I love bel canto. I love so many different kinds. I think it's really more the specific parts and whether dramatically and musically it speaks to me, and that's what makes me choose to do a role or not.
Yeah. So I think now we're gonna head up to the costume
costume shop.
department. Yeah, and the Met
Yes.
is not only for opera, and I mean we only just don't host the Opera House. We also have a costume department. We have a production part where we make the sets. And we also have two recording studios where you can listen to the Sirius radio broadcasts and other things that we're interviewing opera singers and things like that. So we're gonna head up there now.
So we'll see you there.
The strange thing is that the story of Guillaume Tell is fake. It's not really based on a true story. And of course, it's a kind of symbol of nationalism, search for liberty, independence of a nation. And the fresco that Rossini describes is, of course, Austrian occupation of Switzerland. Rossini tries to really compose the idea of Switzerland. He really manages in a masterly way to make all the sensations of the opera about nature, which of course is the symbol of liberty. The important thing about nature is a sense of infinity, the sky, the water, the reflection of the mountains in the water. And that was sort of the starting point for George. So he made a very simple mirror box, which is the basic framework of the set. And thanks to this mirror box, we do get a feeling of infinity. We do get a feeling of reflection. George came up with this very, very beautiful idea of the crossbow, the famous crossbow, but he translated it into a symbol, architectural symbol on the stage that can also suggest a boat, because the boat is a very important element in the story. For the costumes, we went for a single color for each of the parties. The Austrians are in dark colors and the Swiss are in light colors. Jerry is one of the opera singers I admire most on the international scene. He is an extraordinary artist and he invests himself in his roles.
Batter my heart, three-personed God, for you as yet.
Marina Rebecca is a wonderful singer also in the French repertoire. She's got this wonderful personality and stature. Brian Himmel is a wonderful singer, actor, somebody who's developed a speciality of singing very difficult French music beautifully. Rossini rewards you with the most magnificent music from beginning to end. Something timeless and something theatrical, something mysterious, and that remains today still very surprising.
Let him know camera mic's on.
Okay, so regular and extra chorus, men and women to the hardwoods. 4 dancers swiss, 2 dancers soldiers, 6 super soldiers for preset to the hardwood, please. Gessler with crop, Rodolphe for preset, from stage left, please. Mr. Relier, Mr. Panikar, stage left, hardwood. We'll bring you down. 4 dancer elegance to the stage left hardwood. 2 dancers, 2 super elegance to the down right hardwood.
From the Grand Tier stage to the Founders Hall. And now save the best for last.
So everything that goes to back just now, I'm gonna go down and really change this one, see what goes to back this damage I get here. One back shelving back.
Hi, we're back here, and this is the Metropolitan Opera costume shop, and this is the head of the costume shop, Elisa Iberti. Hi, Elisa.
Welcome.
Thank you
Hi.
for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome. And how's everybody today?
We're good.
I'm
Yes.
exhausted, to be honest, but I'm doing okay, hanging in there.
You had your performance last night?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
awesome.
great.
And now, it's always interesting to, after a performance, we have we call it singer's high, where like we're on top of the world, and then the moment we get in
Let
our
down,
beds
yeah.
and our bodies calm down, then it's like we get hit by a freight truck.
It's true.
So
It's really true.
I was so excited to do this morning that I honestly I didn't have that feeling yet, but I'm sure when I leave here today, I'll take a rest and I'll probably sleep for like 12 hours.
Yes,
Well,
yes, absolutely.
Why don't we take a little stroll to the ladies' side and we'll look at your costume.
Absolutely. So this is the Metropolitan Opera costume shop, and these people work
Lee, would
so
you join
hard.
us?
They make things very authentically.
this
So
one?
you'll notice that when somebody's wearing a vest with a coat on top, it's never a fake vest. They always make the full vest.
Regina?
And one of the great things about, especially the costumes in La Boheme, is that they make them in a very traditional way. So Musetta's Act 3 and 4 costume, they make as though she were kind of a working woman, which she is at that point. So they have it close in the front, they have it buttoned in the front so she could put it on herself and wouldn't need help. And it's those kinds of details that make the costume shop here so absolutely incredible. But this is the Act 2 costume, which is obviously very flashy and very fun. Can you tell us a little
I'm
bit
just gonna
about
turn
it?
a little
So
bit.
this is Regina Schuster. She's the head of the women's costume side of the costume department, and she's going to tell us a little bit about this dress.
So this is not the original dress, and it's not Susanna's dress either, but
That's
it's
right.
an exact copy of it, which we use for our covers and other singers. This was originally made for Anna Netrebko, and 7 other singers have worn it.
Can you show us the back of the costume?
Of
This is
course.
one of the coolest things. So in the back of the costume, whenever you put on a costume here at the Metropolitan Opera, the first name is who it was made for, and then every name after that of the people who wear the costume is stitched into the back of the costume, which Regina will show you.
It's art history.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
amazing. right?
I've been told by other performers where they've seen names that of singers they've had CDs
So you
or
see that?
LPs of.
So who are some? Oh,
So it was made in 2004,
well, Marina Rebecca, who is in the La Boheme. Oh my goodness.
and it's actually also
Eileen Perez.
Eileen Perez.
who
Uh-huh.
is now singing Mimi.
That's right. Ana Maria Martinez. Wow, it's beautiful. Anna Netrebko. Those are a lot of very famous names.
Yeah, I remember my friend was telling me when he sang Bohème Colline, and he opened up the vest. Colline has a vest, and he saw it was like Nikolai Girov, Paul Pliszka, James Morris, Tien Chen. It was all of these famous Met basses. So it's in both male and female. There's some crazy history to these costumes.
That's true.
And this production, I think, when did it premiere?
1981.
1981. And
81.
Yeah, 1979.
No, it was
1981?
I know
81.
because it was the year I was born.
Yes.
1981.
Well, I remember my debut here was the Mandarin in Turandot, and I got my costume, and they were talking to me about the people who were in it, and apparently the production premiered in 1986, the year that I was born as well. So I had my debut in the opera that premiered on the day that I was born.
Isn't that incredible?
It's kind of awesome.
Incredible.
It's kind of awesome.
This was actually the role that I made my debut in,
Yeah.
too. And it's so funny. These costumes go through so much, especially in a part like this, where she's dancing across the stage all the time. There's so much that these costumes go through. How often do you have to check these costumes to make sure that they are still intact and as beautiful as they were the day they were made?
Well, every season when the show comes back, we check all the costumes. We choose the ones that are going to be worn because there's not always just one Musetta or Mimi in the run of the show. So we have 3 of these, and they're usually all prepared to go on.
Wow.
Yeah, but even for I'm a decently sized guy, and since the production has debuted in 1981, you can imagine how many Collines have existed, how many Musettas have existed. So they have to basically sometimes even make a brand new costume for someone like maybe the Colline before me was maybe half my size,
Right.
and so then they have to make a brand new one for it to fit my very petite frame.
Yeah.
So,
But also sometimes things can happen during a show. I mean, just the other day, I was singing Act 2 in La Boheme, and the shoe that I used to hold up, Musetta saying, "Oh, the shoe hurts so much. It's so awful. It's so terrible." And I picked up the shoe, and half the shoe fell off because I've been wearing this shoe for 35 shows for the last 9 years, and all of a sudden it just fell apart. And so I don't really know what I'm going to do for the next show because I think it's completely. What do y'all? How do y'all
Well,
fix those
speaking
things?
of your shoes,
Oh,
we have a new pair for you if you'd like to try on while we're here.
yeah.
seriously?
Yes.
Okay, I would love to.
Let's do this
Can
right
we do that now?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Go right
sorry guys. Let's do that now.
Thank you, Regina.
Thank you, Regina.
You really do have
Yes,
Oh my goodness. Okay. Never a dull moment.
Lee?
And one of the great things also, here in the costume department, they not only do they make dresses, but they also have in-house shoemakers and in-house hat makers. So for someone like me, who has a above average size shoe, I wear size 16, 17 in men's. You need to almost kill another cow to make me a shoe. So here at the costume department, they can make me a shoe that fits me. Also, I have a very large brain for a very big hat, so they do that here as well. Where'd she go?
Maybe I should.
You've been in this room.
I
We've
have,
been
I have.
fitting you shoes.
Yes, and also, they not only do they do the costumes for the leads, they also do the costumes for the chorus, the supers, any extras. So you can imagine, like in the Bohème second act, we have a huge set with I think over how many singers
That's
on
a
stage?
lot. It used to hold the world record for
Yeah.
people on stage.
It's over
100 at least.
150.
It's over 150 people on stage.
Yeah.
And so in that one, maybe 20, 30 minute scene, they have over 150 people on stage, and they have to have costumes, shoes, hats, accessories for all of these people. And this is what the costume department does, and they do this for every show.
Lisa,
Also, you're on the second floor, which is just the soloist floor. Those people, the core division, are up on 5. When
Five,
we're
okay.
really, really busy, we have an overflow facility in the Bronx. So, how do they feel,
Oh!
madam? Yes.
They feel good.
Walk
They
around a
feel
little
great.
bit so we know.
But where are the old ones?
The old ones are right here.
Oh my god! Look at this. Compare the color of the. Wow.
Well, they've
these are
been. So basically, the other night, the entire piece
Fell
fell off. Okay. So we'll put some new ribbons on there, and you'll be ready to go next week.
One of my favorite techniques that I've seen the costume department do. I remember I was doing.
I'm going to show this too.
I think it was Parsifal. I was doing one of the nights in Parsifal, at the Metropolitan Opera, and the costume department had this beautiful suit. They measured me, had a suit guy come in and made me this gorgeous suit, and then they told me, oh yes, but it won't look like that when you're wearing it. I'm like, why? Because we have to distress it. And so they took this beautiful suit, which I would have worn to any event, and turned it into like I got into a battle with with a sword, and it was full of holes. It was
my goodness.
like looked like I had been through the second apocalypse. So
That's our realism.
Yeah. So they really go all out. They put all this work into this beautiful suit and then destroyed it. And that's the beauty of the costume department.
Well, Elisa, while we're here, are there any like factoids about the costume shop that you would like to talk to us about or tell us a little bit about?
It's always how many costumes do we handle in a year. I mean,
how
this
many
year
costumes you handle?
we'll probably handle somewhere around 4,000 costumes.
Wow.
If you figured that for each new production, on average it's 200, which is sort of on the low end, and we do 6 new productions a year. So that's about 1,200 new costumes that we're introducing.
So that's just
into
about
the
one
life.
costume for every seat in the audience.
Pretty much.
That's incredible.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
So can you show me anything for the
But
men's?
I was just going to say to you, speaking of distressing,
Yes?
let's go find your coat.
Yes.
Now we'll go to the
Thank
men's
you.
side of the shop.
As I said, I'm very petite. Look at this guy.
Look who's here, everybody.
Hi guys.
Yay! All right. So here you are.
Wow, this looks familiar.
Bruce, you want to say a few words?
So this is Bruce. He works in the head of the men's costume side.
One of the
Bryant
guys.
is also the head right here.
Yes, it's okay. So we have two of the guys here, and I'm going to talk to me a little about my coat. And in the opera La Boheme, which you can check out the performances on metropolitanopera.org, and we have 2 more performances. Don't forget. I have an aria in the 4th act, almost the climax of the opera, where I sing about my coat. That almost symbolically, I'm going to sell it, and I'm saying goodbye to it because I want to get a little bit of money if I can to purchase medicine for my friend who is ill, and it's my most important possession. And it's a possession that I've been through a lot with. It's a coat that I've had almost as long as my journey in France.
You've been talking a lot. Can you put this on and
Yeah,
tell them a few bars?
let me see what I can do. But maybe I can.
Well, while he's putting his coat on, I want to talk a little bit about this really exciting moment in Speedo's life. A book about Speedo's life has just been published. It's called Sing for Your Life. It is beautifully written, and it's an incredible story of a wonderful, wonderful man. So I really hope all of y'all will check it out because it's really incredible.
So yes, and as you can see, this is what we call distressed, and look
at these holes.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
And the
I bet you'll get a lot of money for that thing.
You'd be surprised, actually, how much Met costume department items are worth, their actual worth.
Yes.
And Nick can probably talk to me a little about that later. But the part of costumes on stage is you want them to represent what the character's going through, what's going on at the moment, and so at certain moments you could be there could be a king or a queen, and they'll have a dress or a suit that looks, thousands of dollars. But then you have other moments like my character where I'm poor, I'm living almost bohemian lifestyle, yes, and just not worrying about money and what I'm wearing. And so you have to have the costumes that look like I'm poor and like I'm living day to day, week to week. And so that's what goes into it. So can you tell me a little about the methods?
Well, this is the original coat that I believe Peter J. Hall designed.
Yes.
The original one in 1981.
Yes.
This is a holy relic.
Yes.
Where are the labels?
The labels in this one are actually all in
the sleeve.
The sleeve.
I don't think Colina would sell this coat. So who do we have?
This is.
Let's read some of these names. We have. Oh my gosh! Let's see if I.
Grossbach,
Von Horn, Christian Von Horn. Yeah. We have. Oh my gosh! Some of these are hard to read.
Let's see. Bernstein.
Yes. Okay.
Chris Van Horn, Teste.
Okay. Sim.
Yep.
Do you have the vest? Is that here?
I think that's still downstairs.
You didn't bring that.
Vemmick covering
But if you look
Cover
at
me
the
now, yeah.
inside of this jacket, I mean, when we have to do a repair, we actually dye this fabric to match and
Right,
put it
this
in,
is-
so it's actually.
So is this extra fabric or just is part
Well,
of the?
up here, if we had to repair, like
We've
up
done We've done a number of repairs to keep it functional.
Together.
And I think
but
having
still-
it's almost realistic because this is close to what 35 year old coat. So now it really actually represents the kind of distress that would happen if Kalina actually owned it.
Right.
So that's really cool. And can you tell us a little bit of what goes into for instance, I told you my debut was the Mandarin and Turandot.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit what goes into like choosing the fabrics?
Well, for the rep shows, they've been decided, like Bohem, they've decided a long time ago. So we just have to keep matching the same type of fabrics, the same colors.
Can you show the back of that coat and show the back of this coat? Because that's the original, right?
Right.
And this is the
newer one.
remake,
The newer
and
one.
but the patches are the same in
Yeah.
the same places.
Yeah, and even I'm in a new production, for instance, when what people, a lot of people may not know is like the actual designers. There's a huge designing team that goes into a new production. So can you tell me a little bit about some of maybe interesting designers that you've worked with?
Well, you happen to have a coat right over there, or a new
Oh,
production.
Oh man, that's
coat.
beautiful.
So
Yes.
we can roll that over,
That's Michael Curry.
or we can go over.
So what is this from?
Always find great gems here.
The new opera, yes.
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 Wow. Do you make this in a size 52? Holy
Well,
moly, I'll wear
speaking
this
of
out.
which,
Eric Owens will be singing it here.
Yes?
So there will be a.
There will be a larger size jacket for
there
me.
will be a
Thank
larger
you.
size, yes.
So we did this one for when it was done
They
staged
work in Quebec,
Montreal.
yes.
So he came. We did the coat, worked out the designs for the applique.
You want to turn it around so we can see the entire.
The applique
Wow.
was done. Came back. We had to put it all together. And what we do is we make things that we can alter.
Yeah.
So that there's a range of sizes. So it isn't just this, which is sort of a 40. It actually can go to a 44.
Really?
When we need to.
What's like? Can you give me a crazy story about a costume? Maybe like an idea for a costume that a designer had, or what's one of your favorite costumes for an opera that you've done?
I think this one is
I
pretty
think
much
this
our
is-
favorite.
This is pretty much the favorite one, just because I spent a lot of time in this working out with the designer, the design for this. You know, he had an idea of the heron, and which is part of the
You really got to see
symbolism
this
in the
embroidery.
show.
But also to
It's-
make it line up, like
Yeah.
when
Right.
your arms
Yeah.
are up and down. And
So, like, how much does something like this cost to make?
we estimated that it was over 80 hours,
80 hours? 80? Oh my!
so we won't go past
Yeah,
that
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I think again, the amount of effort that goes into a costume, like every detail, it amazes me. Like I've been in a couple productions here, and every time the level has been like top notch.
But this is also built to last. This has
Right.
already traveled. We can actually take this embroidery off and put it onto another jacket, so everything is modular.
It's very versatile. You know, that it can keep going.
Yeah, so this has been such a great experience.
Yes. Thank you all so much for
Thank you so
showing
much
us.
Thank
for
you.
showing us, guys.
Come back
Thank you.
anytime.
Yeah, and I think we're ready to maybe sign off and let the next tour happen in Lincoln
Yes,
Center.
thank you all so much for joining us. If you want to know more about the Met, you can always log on to their website.
Or follow them on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And you can go on the metropolitanopera.org website to check out all the performance dates for all the shows, and especially La Boheme, because I know all of you guys are really excited to see us on stage.
Yes.
And thank you so much for spending time with us here at Lincoln Center.
Hope
And
y'all
Metropolitan
come to the
Opera.
opera soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yes. You just made my day. You say that to me every